How's it going? Welcome to day 3 of the Manifestation Mindset Challenge. I've got water. I hope you've got water right now. Because anytime that we do any kind of belief work, energy work at all, water is like such a good part. If you think about it, whenever we consume, we are consuming energy. We need water to function, and then when we release, we can also take advantage of the opportunity to release energy. When we go and use the restroom, we can literally say anything that is not serving me for my highest and best good right now is allowed to release. So I hope you do have your water. I have literally this huge squeeze box size full tall water, so please get your water, because what we're going over today is going to be belief, blast, and craft. And this is such an important part of the manifestation process. The past 2 days have been very useful, but they kind of prime us for this piece. And this piece, if I'm going to be honest, what we go over today is what we get to experience some of the largest pivot within. When we get to be clear about our desires, it's so useful. And when we get to come up with our identity and declare it and understand what comes up, it's so useful. But what comes up is what we get to claim opportunity on today. So I'm going to be breaking down three of my favorite pieces when it comes to belief, blast, and craft. And if you're open to it, come and say hello, leave comments, share it for people that are open to this kind of a process, that are wanting to make this type of transformation or use these tools. Even when it comes just to bringing space, bringing calm, anything from success to acknowledging that you just want kindness within your life. These tools are so freaking useful. So today, the first one that I'm going to go over with you guys is going to be a little bit more obvious, probably. I promise the other two are probably less obvious, and at least less as often available of a process. And so the first one is what we took advantage of the first 2 days. And what I'm really gonna call it right now is awareness. The best part of belief, blast, and craft is going to be awareness, not just of the beliefs that are limiting and not serving you right now, but also awareness of the ones that you are wanting to form into. So in Desire Day, when we started to dream up, if we ever realized at a certain point that something felt intangible and inaccessible, that's when we want to say, hey, why? I'm going to write it down. I'm just going to acknowledge this belief does not feel, I'm telling myself stories that say this is not going to equate. It's not possible. For example, when I talked about music the other day, I said a story I've been telling myself for years is I can play music and songs just as long as I wrote it. I don't play songs that other people wrote. That is a strong belief. So that's something that it's worth writing down at that point. You know, it's a limiting belief. I said on that day I'm going to be rewriting that belief. When we came into identity, we got to ask ourselves, what identity do I claim? What is the identity of the person who is capable of achieving these goals, who is living this life every single day? And what does their day look like? What is that experience? And whenever we get to pursue that, we get to see, once again, what rises. What moments do we say, oh yeah, that would be nice, but, and what is the but? Because on the other side of that is a belief. It's a story. It's a story we've told ourselves. It's a story we believe. It's a story for preservation, for safety. But it's a story that we can blast, and then we can craft a new one. And so right now, I want you to take all of that awareness, and I want you to really acknowledge what beliefs are keeping you held back. Which ones don't make it possible? If they are true, that means it's equally true that your desire is just not possible right now. These can look like excuses, and I get it. I've been so busy. We've been, doing this challenge, having the shop open, getting ready for fall festival season. We got that schedule out. And so I was like, man, what are you doing trying to pursue this keyboard shenanigans in the middle of everything that's already building? And I realized, but if I'm the identity of this badass musician that's making music and traveling and, able to perform a song at the drop of a request, then that means I'm still going to take at least one step. And I asked us yesterday if we wanted to take a bonus step. It was to take one action that would come from that identity. And so I did. I took one action, and that was to Google the placement of fingers on keys, and I took a screenshot of those locations. That way I can constantly look at it and start to show my brain, and that way I can be having my fingers placed on those locations. It's a small step, but it is a step, because these excuses, and that's not bad, I'm not saying it's like, oh, excuses, they're natural. We are tired sometimes. We're living life. Like, we're building things every day in so many spaces of our life. We have family. Yeah, it's a big part of why today's at 7 o'clock, is because Wednesday is the one day off. We spent yesterday celebrating Mom afterwards, and then I wanted to spend time with my husband today. And it was really sweet, because right before we came over here, he ordered DoorDash fried rice while being able to work, and then get to spend time with him after. And so those were all really valid pieces, because whatever we're building is usually for a reason. So it's really important to honor the gratitude, these moments that we're in that we already appreciate, what we want to continue to build on. I get to then take this awareness and this gratitude and place it in my beliefs that I'm building towards place. That space in my life that I do deserve to put gratitude towards and to appreciate and to carve time for when it's already present, because of the fact that it expands on what I'm also saying that I'm building towards. And if you are ever manifesting something that is already in front of you, sometimes we have to be able to realize that it's in front of us. But that's where this awareness is so valid, so valuable, because once we articulate it, we get to be a bit more clear about what it is that we actually desire, why we desire it, what is it for. And that way we can not only be belief blast and crafting beliefs that aren't helping us get there, but then also allowing that awareness to give us an appreciation and gratitude for where it's already present. Because, oh my gosh, the amount of times that we already have what we desire, and it's asking for us just to see it a little bit more, that is just as beautiful, if not more beautiful, than the manifestations that we're trying to build that haven't come into fruition yet. And so, awareness was number one. What's number two? I'm very excited for this part. This is the part that I probably shared with you guys leading up to this, where I said we're going to get into tapping. Yes, it is the good stuff. And this is part of why we have water today. I hope I'm subconsciously encouraging you to drink water every time I take a sip. I hope it just makes you think, man, I really want water. And if you need to get up real quick and go get that water, go ahead and go get that water. But tapping, what is tapping? It is considered emotional freedom technique. That is the name of it. And it's EFT or tapping. But this is a process where we're focusing on acupressure. So similar to acupuncture and the points that it's focusing on, we're getting to experience acupressure, where we can use our own fingers to be able to tap onto these points. And as we activate pressure in them, we are helping our body to synchronize with the thoughts and the beliefs that we're switching. So we have a few of these acupressure points that we focus on with tapping. We have a combination where we use this awareness of the beliefs that we are needing to release and the beliefs that we are now allowing ourselves to adopt and come into fully. And in a way to embody it, a way to feel it in our body, is actually tapping. So our first point that we have is going to be right here on our side of our hand. It's that chopstick side. So we tap here as we go through the beginning of being honest about exactly where we are right now. And what's really nice about this is that we're going to be able to be honest about what we feel right now. We're going to be able to validate it. This isn't us just washing it under the rug, stuffing it under the rug, acting like it doesn't exist. When we get into tapping, we're being very, sometimes brutally honest about exactly where we are, exactly what we feel, exactly what our current beliefs are. And that way we get to say out loud for the first time. And a lot of times what I realize is that it almost starts to seem silly when I actually say my belief out loud. Something I've realized is that we have this echo chamber effect when a belief or a thought is in our mind. We believe a story that we've told ourselves. whenever it rotates and says itself again and again in our mind. But once we say it out loud and make it a bit more tangible and we get to receive hearing it ourselves, we realize that it may not be as fitting as we wanted it to feel subconsciously the entire time that we've been telling ourselves that story. So we'll have this first point that we'll begin to tell a lot of our tapping story with. But then we're going to go through these different acupressure points. So you can take about 2 fingers. You can take 3. I usually do 3. You can take both hands if you want to hit these spots, or you can do 1 at a time. Either way. So even if you have access just to 1 hand, this is something that you can come in here and start to experience. And so it's the top of our head. Like I said, 1 or 2 hands. It's going to be right above the eyebrow. It's going to be on the side in the temple area. I have to take my glasses off for this, usually by this point. On the side here. It's going to be underneath the eye, right here on top of the, kind of on this cheekbone part. It's going to be right here above the lip. It's going to be right below the lip on above your chin. Here on the collarbone. And then right here on the bra line. If you're not wearing a bra, if you don't need bras, if you're someone that's braless, that's okay. You can just go right here, a little lower than where your armpit is on the side. And then we come back onto here again. So what we're going to do now is script with it. That's what we call it. Whenever we combine the actual tapping of the acupressure points with the scripting, which is going to be a first set of acknowledging exactly where we are, exactly what we believe and how we feel about those beliefs, and then breaking through those beliefs, debunking them, and then telling ourselves the new belief that we are adopting. And so that is going to be the scripting. It's going to be 1-sentence statements as we go between each of these acupressure points. And I'm going to do it out loud right now. You're more than welcome to join me with this. And just repeat after me. I'll give you a pause each time. That way you can repeat after me. So, if anyone has something that they want to tap on right now, a belief they're wanting to blast, go ahead and say it. I'm going to take a drink. You get a chance real quick to say it. If not, I'm going to go ahead and come up with my own script based on what I've been working on. But if you want to script on something that you're going through, go ahead and say it. We can workshop it. We've got that water going on. There's also a chance that I'm not seeing comments that come in, so I do want to consider that that may be a thing too. So if you did say something and I don't see it, and I just go ahead and create my own script, it is not because I did not like your suggestion. It's because it's telling me that I don't see any, and that's okay. I'm safe. Okay, so safety, creating safety in the self. I like that. Okay, so I think that's actually a really good one because of the fact that with the hierarchy of change, it has a bit of a mirror effect with the hierarchy of needs. One of our first needs for us to be able to even make change is going to be impart safety, to know that we are already here, that we are able to be in this space of receiving, having our needs met. So I think this is a beautiful one to tap on. So we're going to have our feet grounded. Take a deep breath. Nice. And we are going to get ourselves ready. Drink your water, get your body ready, get your voice ready. It's okay if you're just thinking about it. And we're going to start with tapping. Feel free to repeat after me. Sometimes I feel nervous. Sometimes I feel like I don't know what's ahead. And it scares me. And I've identified that this fear in my body can be in my stomach. I've identified that this fear in my body can be in my heart. I've identified how this fear in my body comes from my mind. And I feel it sometimes from my mind to my heart to my stomach. But I also know that this feeling is only a feeling. I know that this feeling is only bringing me more awareness. And this awareness is teaching me more about my desires and what I'm capable of. And the truth of the matter is, I am still breathing. And the truth of it is I have clothes on my back. And the truth of it is I am capable of eating today. And the truth of it is I have my health. I am present in my body. I am alive. And I am safe. The truth of it is I am safe. And everything I have done up until this point, everything I have learned and everything I have acted on has allowed me to experience this safety. Take a deep breath, shake it out, take a drink of water, and we're about to get into the actual different acupressure points throughout our body. All right. I'm safe. I'm safe, I'm safe. Okay, let's get into this. It is okay if I have fear in my body. Having fear is a natural experience. Being intimidated is a natural experience. And outside of awareness, fear has nothing to do with me. Fear means nothing about me. I decide the meanings about me. And I use fear as a tool. I'm going to add in the wrist. I allow myself to be loved when I experience fear. I allow myself to experience kindness when I experience fear. I allow myself kind words when I experience fear. And I know that I am more than the fear. And I allow myself to see and feel the safety. I allow myself to feel the safety I've created. And even though I can't control external circumstances, I can control how I respond to them and how I take care of myself. And I promise to take care of myself in response to every circumstance. I promise to use all of my energy to keep myself safe. The way that I have already kept myself safe. Because our safety comes from within. No matter how much damage happens from the outside, I promise to be dedicated to my healing. I promise to be dedicated to the kindness I give myself. I promise to receive the healing I give myself. I promise to receive the safety that's already present within me. I promise to be grateful for the safety I've experienced up until this moment. And just like I know that oxygen is always available, just like I know I will always breathe the oxygen available, I will also receive the safety I provide myself. And I am learning every single day how to create more and more safety for myself. And the safety that comes from self-trust. The safety that comes from risk and the kindness I give myself in the pursuit of it. The safety that comes from being willing to have awareness again and again. The safety to be honest with myself deeply and truly. The safety to fight for everything I desire. The safety to know that I am safe even when I fail. The safety to take 1,000,000 risks. The safety to know that some of those risks are going to become experiences and lessons. The safety that in those 1,000,000 lessons, I will succeed. And I allow myself to feel safety in success. I allow myself to feel safety in receiving the rewards of my success. I allow myself to feel safety in the new desires and risks that I'm willing to take again after success. And I'm willing to allow myself to see all of my opportunities. I allow myself to feel all of my potential. And I know that I am safest when I live up to my full potential. Because I showed up here for a reason. My soul asked to be present right now. And my soul desires to have full impact. And my safety is reaching that full impact. My safety is experiencing as much as I can experience. My safety is enjoying the risk of my full experience. My safety is making expansive space for every lesson. My safety is taking action again and again. And my safety is putting my full effort in. And my safety is knowing that I'm proud of myself no matter the result. My safety is that I love myself no matter the result. My safety is that I am here. And my safety is loving myself fully. And I deeply love, accept, and forgive myself. in the past, present, and future from any time that I have not allowed myself to feel this safety. And so long as I'm alive, that lack of safety was just an illusion. Because I am still here and my soul is still present. And my soul knows unlimited safety. And as my soul experiences this human experience, as my soul experiences this human body, my safety knows that I am more than enough. And I am grateful that I have showed up. I am grateful that you are here. And I'm plugging this in. So go ahead right now and take a drink of water. There we go. Good, good, good. Take a drink of water because we just got to do a lot of tapping. I liked that. I liked how that flowed. Okay, so we do have one more piece left. I want to talk about this tapping we did real quick. That was really amazing. Thank you so much for doing that with me. You can go ahead and go through that at any point that you want to, again and again. Aw, thanks. I'm so glad that was beautiful. I hope that was something you just, I felt that. And I hope that you felt that. Aha. And no, I love that. And it's fun when you go into scripting. You can write it down in advance if you want to. And you can also just go into a free flow. I like the free flow. I like to just try to be vulnerable about what I'm feeling, ask for those emotions to come up, and then ask for guidance from source, from universe, from guides about what direction can help me build. And I really appreciated how, like safety is knowing that I'm here for myself and that I'm willing to show up for myself anyways. All of it. I'm going to probably listen to that back because I kind of am not here necessarily. It feels like when I'm going into a full flow. But the third piece, once we get past tapping, and tapping you can script on anything. If you're ever having stress and you want to come into calm, if you ever are having prosperity that you're seeking to be in a space of receiving, if you're seeking to be in a space of taking action to receive, if you're seeking to be in a place of feeling less pain, it's been really popular when it comes to even military people after coming back and having PTSD, being able to have tapping as a way to be able to work through a lot of the emotions that come from the past. It's a really beautiful way of working through things like trauma. I have definitely used it on practices, on processes like that. But tapping is yours now. You always feel free to ask if you want to ever work on a script. We're still in this group together, and I don't mind every so often if people drop in scripts that they're wanting to pursue for me to create a few videos throughout the future in this manifestation mindset magic group for you guys. That can just be always existing in here because tapping is so valuable. It's something we can do literally in the car. We can do it before a meeting. We can do it in the middle of genuine life. And that's part of what I love the most about it, is that it's so useful in everyday life, right in the middle of feeling it. And it's when we feel those emotions that's actually the most valuable, because we're primed and ready for them to be released and to be felt and to be processed and worked through. But the third piece today that I said was going to be my 3-part for belief blasting and crafting is going to be when you know that you're ready to make a change. And sometimes we know that there's one piece, right? One thing that we have been kind of waiting on or on the edge of or knowing that we need to do. And there's a little bit of intimidation there. It's kind of a little too scary. It's a bit out of reach. We are not ready for it. So it seems that's an illusion. But what can we do when it is there? It's maybe been there for a while. It's intimidating. It's a change. It's something we're gonna have to do, but it's a plug we gotta pull, but rather not pull that plug. What we can do, and I promise you, when I learned about this technique, I was like, oh no, this is too good, and now I'm going to make a change that I've known I needed to make for like a year. And I finally made a big change, and it was like life-changing. I am in everything, every experience that I'm in right now is because of that change. But what was it that let me do that, right? What's this great magic process? So go ahead, and if you have paper, write this down. And if not, just consider this. It's on a video that you can play back forever, so you can always come back to this point. I want you to write down whatever this change is, whatever it is that you know needs to happen. If you don't do it, if you don't pursue it, if you don't make that change, if everything stays exactly as it is in this status quo and in this level of comfort, what are the benefits? Ooh, be honest. Ooh, be real about it. What are the benefits? You get to stay comfortable. Maybe you don't have to have a conversation you don't want to have. Maybe you don't have to face something you don't want to face. I want you to be honest about the benefits of not making the change. And it's every reason why you haven't right now. So hopefully it's easy enough to come up with it. And it's okay if it's a short list. There's nothing wrong with it. Because what's the second part of this list? So the first part was, if I don't make this change, what are the benefits? But the other side of this list, if I do make this change, this really uncomfortable, difficult change that I've known in my gut I've needed to make for a while, something I've needed to pursue, something I've needed to tackle, and it just isn't easy enough, I don't want to, whatever reason it may be. We just said our benefits of not making it. What are my benefits of making the change? Okay, why do we list this out? Because of the fact that if the benefits of making this change suddenly is everything on this desire side. Day one, when we got into your desires and we painted out a dream day, this is where we get to see that if we make this change, here's all the things that are on the desire side of if we're willing to make it. This is the reason why I desired the change in the first place, was all these desires. So whenever I wrote out my dream day, and it was this downtown home, and it was having a business downtown and being able to walk around this community and being in the art scene. It's wild because I'm like, wow, here I am. It actually came true. But I remember that there was one change I really needed to make, and I was just conveniently, comfortably enough, status quo-y enough that I did not need to make the change. So that day I finally wrote down the list of everything that was my benefit. What was my benefit by not making the change? I was comfortable. There was a really hard conversation I didn't have to make. There was a lot I wasn't going to have to figure out. I didn't need to figure out moving. I didn't need to figure out packing. I didn't need to figure out hard conversations, right? Status quo. And so then I wrote down the benefits of if I did make the change. And on that benefit was my dream list. It was the downtown living, downtown gallery, a relationship where I get to be fully honest and expressive and supportive of someone and who they are that believes in themselves, but then also where I get to believe in myself, and we get to both exchange and receive that. And it's wild being here, and I'm grateful, but I'd be lying if I said that change didn't lead to moments of panic or of heartbreak or of figuring it out, or of wondering where I was going to live after having a hard conversation and figuring out that, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you make these changes and it's like a 6-month, 1-year process that you're suddenly opening the door on when you know it's that big of a change. And that's okay. That's okay. That's where being kind to ourselves becomes important again. That's where the tools like tapping become important again. That's where breath work and meditation become so helpful and a gift again. And having places like the shop, if you ever want to come in and do a Sunday sound bath and stuff like that. My friends that were healers and my friends that had places for us just to show up and breathe and have experiences, they become a gift again, you know? So whatever change it is that you're pursuing, you know, as we're in the middle of this manifestation mindset challenge and all of this magic, if you took this seriously and if you're genuinely coming into this trying to actually manifest something, I told you it was not just law of attraction. It is not. So go ahead, take these processes, enjoy them, ask questions. I will answer questions tomorrow as we go live again. And thank you so much for being part of the Manifestation Mindset Challenge. And the homework today, what is that change? What is that thing that you know need to have to change? I'm sending you love. Go ahead and write down. Do your benefits and both sides. What the benefits are if you don't make the change, and then your benefits if you do make the change. And I'll see you tomorrow, 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock again tomorrow. Be back at the shop tomorrow, so I'll see you there.